especially from, you know, rounds 5 to 7, 9 to 11. That's just what it is. Yeah. So on to this next half now. Gen G on the attack. Again, they didn't have the best time against Peripherals.
Yeah, they only took 2 rounds, and they started off on attack in that match. So it went 2 and 10, and then eventually Peripherals did take the win, obviously. But yeah, hoping that, you know, maybe they learned a lot from that match, and they can say, okay, this is how we've readjusted. Gotta see what they bring to the table this time around, and not just
say that it'll definitely be DRX's, and it's going to start from this pistol round. DRX pushing out of showers, just trying to clear it out. Looks like they got the camera.
But that's about it for now.
Oh, yeah. Nothing doing. Gen G's hanging back. You know why? Because Peripherals pushes out on defense.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea, I think, to wait, you know, 10, 15 seconds.
Now we're hearing a little bit more utility from both sides. Texture's nade will catch Bane.
Here.
It's a bit of a lineup into the corner. I think Bane had no idea that there were explosives raining from above. Now it's going to be a bit of a teleporter play as DRX senses the rotations from Gen G, but Texture holds back. Mako able to trade back out. It's going to be a 2-on-3 in this retake.
It's looking pretty good for Gen G for now, but still a chance for DRX. Let's see if they can get on in here, but the angle from Meteor is too good. And he'll take down both as well. It just flips to 180, takes out Mako as well, and gets revenge for the first half. It's going to be a good start here for Gen G on the attack.
Starting to heat up. I mean, I got to see that. Yeah, that's the lineup. There we go. Along with the Trailblazer as well, so he just could not escape. And then the rotational play. I mean, this is just a masterclass at how you want to work the map on Bind. So definitely reworking a lot of strategies on their Bind this time.
Yeah, it definitely looks a bit better so far. As okay.
On his side. The rest of DRX now just continuing to walk through. Unfortunately, this is not a great thing because it's free ult points for Gen G. Every kill that they get, they're working towards their ultimate. Texture and Locky are halfway to theirs now. And there's still a full minute, maybe a minute and 30, 40 seconds if they get the spike down. Oh, we've spotted Mako. Locky is like, all right, he's not an A. Let's go in for the plant.
Yeah, and Mako. He's in a pretty easy spot to get hunted down. He's, at the moment, just charging onto the side. He's not even going to waste his time and try to die to the spike. He'll just go in and die instead.
What other word could we possibly say?
Yeah. And it's a flawless round from Gen G, so nice amount of ult charge built up and feeling pretty good about their position.
That's right. Fantastic, just absolutely fantastic start for Gen G in the second half. It gives them a lot of confidence as to how they might be able to come back from that 4-8. If they take this round, because of the ultimates that they've started to build up and because of the cash flow that they've started to gain as well, it was a flawless round, mind you. So winning this against DRX, or even at least taking 4 rifles away from them, would be a huge win.
Cage triggered.
Yeah, definitely would. I think that Gen G are going to take this one a bit slower and just try to be very careful about how they approach this, because they want to continue with this lead that they have. They do not want to give any freebies over to the side of DRX. Right now we do have a couple of guys pushing already through the showers on the side of Gen G, and a push on an A seems likely at this point.
Certainly, DRX trying to hang back as well. So they're playing pretty reactive right now, but at the very least trying to tickle down the Gen G as they try to push out. But Mako receives first contact. Foxy able to use the angle to get one onto Meteor, but instantly traded. Bane tries to push out. Nope. Denied. This retake has been completely shut down by Gen G.
Yeah, they're just running around over on B, trying to save the 2 rifles that they have. And this is the best position for Gen G that they could have outside of just wiping DRX entirely. You're going to get a bonus round. You're going to take 3 rifles away from the side of DRX. You're just going to build up so much momentum as the push on A was just way too clean. And they look much better here on the attacker side against DRX compared to how they looked against PaperX. Maybe DRX might want to take some kind of time out and rethink how they are playing this defensive side if things continue to go in this direction.
Oh yeah, they just might have to. Talking about Gen G's position, they've got the showstopper now. They've got a lot of money. They've taken 3 rifles away from DRX. This can definitely put them back up to DRX 8-8. I mean, we started off this entire map with like DRX in control of things, you know, great aggressive executes, great coordination. Foxy9 getting a lot of kills. As we go in the second half, everything changed. You got Meteor and Texture starting to pop off now. How are you feeling about your prediction, Valdez?
It's still early times, you know. This could go all the way to 3 maps. I think that Gen G have definitely looked much better in the last 5 or so rounds, but yeah. Never count DRX out. They're still in the lead for now, although this round looks pretty favorable for Gen G based on what we can see.
Nice words, but I hear the shakiness in your voice.
A little bit scared, but it's okay.
Okay. Because I am worried. This is DRX's map pick, and you definitely do want to start to see this evolution of DRX, the new era of DRX, kind of like what Paper Thin was talking about on the desk. And if it doesn't happen... Oh! Egg actually just might. Buzz with the angle all the way up from heaven. He spots and shuts Texture down mid-flight.
Yeah. It's kind of insane, like...
What?
Well.
Slight mishaps. Foxy9 trying to take the swing through showers, but Meteor off of timing, able to catch him down as well. Nonetheless, both teams are throwing jabs at each other.
30 seconds
And
left.
it's going to be the quick rotation from Gen G all the way over onto the B site. DRX is completely read this. So players on the site, stacks with the pop flash, but it doesn't quite work out. It's going to be Gen G who are able to play around the tube to secure those frags. Now, Lakia staying tucked away, waiting for cover fire to arrive on site.
Oh.
Buzz tries to deny him the spike plant with the blast pack, but the trajectory was off.
You could see his reaction as well in the player cam. He had his hand on his forehead. He was not happy with that.
That's a whoopsie.
Maybe not expecting 2 people to be coming in from long, but he hit the first shot so well, but then he kind of dropped the rest of it. Now it's up to Mako in the clutch, but there's not enough time. Not a lot of time.
Down to about 20 seconds. He's gotten dinked as well. He started off with like full health. Now down to 3. Good little burst onto Lakia. Oh, and the shot onto Munchkin. But unfortunately, no time because Gen G has played their advantage to perfection. We have tied up the score 8-8.
Yeah, that's 5 rounds in a row to the side of Gen G, including the last round of the first half. So, yeah, they look pretty strong. This first shot was from Buzz was insane. Bit of a tongue twister there, but kind of dropped the end of the round, and then it was up to Mako to try to clutch it out. And
Kabir.
yeah, he's like, that's a shame. Got pretty close, and it's going to be a DRX timeout after that one. As we were talking about, I was kind of surprised they didn't do it in the last one, but maybe they want to wait until everybody can buy up and they have a chance here because it is their final timeout.
Yeah, they're going to have to make full, purposeful use of this one. But for now, I mean, you can see that DRX still has a lot of fight left in them. it's like a very intentional way to position himself, the thing that Buzz did, because knowing that Texture had his showstopper, he's very likely to execute. And I think that's the entire game plan for DRX right now. They're trying to get a read on how Gen G wants to approach the map. So far, they've been doing a good job rotating over at the right time. It's just that sometimes in the retakes, in the way that Stack's pop flashes through, Gen G are able to make use of the map, make use of the terrain just to keep themselves covered away from that flash.
Yeah, it has been pretty key from what we have seen so far. Feels like just looking at the score lines across the board, like we have a bunch of guys that are up at 15 kills, but it feels like everybody's pretty much pulling their weight. You know, we don't have anyone on 0 kills or anything like that. Everybody's kind of doing their job. Nobody's too far below a 1 KD scoreline.
Exactly
like
what you
even
expect
match so far. Yeah.
Yes, from the battle between the Korean giants. For now, still just getting a feel for each other. They know that there's a potential for some operators to be bought up right now. That's what we see with Buzz having in his hands. Boombot through, Buzz trying to make use of timing, but there is a bit of an alert as to where he could be positioned. Gen G trying to play very safe, very defensive. They're approaching with caution.
See the dart comes in.
The DRX spray by the bundle.
So we do have a push that looks to be coming in here. It is only Stacks. Knife comes down. That's going to give him a lot of information to have his teammates start to rotate already. Only 30 seconds left. Looks like Gen G will commit to this B site.
30 seconds left.
Not quite enough time. Buzz pops out the showstopper, but Texture flies down on him. And that's going to be the Angel with Wings descending onto the site, taking control. 3 players down, and no damage sustained on Gen G's side. This is a perfect take because of a bit of a fumbled shot from Buzz.
Yeah, one fumbled shot, and also Texture getting in there and just taking him down before he could react afterwards. And the swarm just came in way too quickly, and that's the difference, you know, especially at the top level of Valorant. It's like you drop one shot, you're just a split second too late, and all of a sudden the enemy team has swarmed you on the site, and glad we get that on camera.
Because he used to play on DRX,
Yeah.
and oh my god. I can't believe what we're seeing about this.
No chill from Lakia, although I didn't expect any chill from him. Well,
okay, whoa. Yo, the crowd just went like, whoa.
the crowd was kind of shooting at everything, just seeing if he can catch anyone off, and Mako was like, okay, enough of that, sit down.
This is where I'm like a little bit envious of not being Korean a little bit. Because I feel like there's like some bits of nuance between the two teams, you know? Like, is DRX like the people's champion of Korea right now, and everyone still wants them back up on top? Meanwhile, Gen G's like, nah, enough of that. This is now our time to shine, and Lakia's here to, like, you know, throw some shade.
Well, I think you don't have to be Korean to get that far, right? You know, it's kind of the obvious storyline, I would say, so far. And, you know, if DRX continues to surge, if they continue to be a top team, they're probably going to continue to keep a really large fan base, which will always threaten the other teams in their region, regardless of how successful they are. It's been that way in many esports. As Gen G looking to get in onto the A site this time through short, but kind of have this choke point with 3 members of DRX waiting for this.
Ooh. Good peek out from Mako. He slows them down with his snake bite. Stacks along with the fragment as well. It's a perfect combo to choke out Gen G. Fortunately, a bit of lights out, even with a slightly lesser buy from DRX. There's a sheriff on Bane. They're able to stop Gen G in their tracks. 2 players left, and they have to shoot their way out of this one. The spike down on the floor. Meteor starts this out perfectly, but Stacks, strafes left and right. Yet another double kill to secure out the round.
Yeah, Stack's very clean on that one to make sure they can put the topper on the round. But yeah, as you mentioned, I mean, I think they were only sitting on the 2 Vandals they had saved from the last round, right? So not a lot of firepower, but just this initial peek from Mako is really what gives them the advantage. And I mean, you also get the nade down. It's pretty rough. They all just kind of walk over it. And Stax just does a great job of holding down the choke point. So kind of caught Gen.G with their pounds down before Gen.G could get the push started.
That's such a pretty strat. You got 3 grenades tossed right at the choke point.
Can't avoid them all.
Oh my goodness. Imagine if Gen.G just somehow went to the other side. Oh boy.
That is an option you have. So now they're going to come on in here once again. Stax on the site with Foxy9. He gets the angle. Oh, and him and Stax are going to shut this one down. Easy, easy. DRX back in the lead.
Great calling, great anticipation from IGL Stax as he reads their movements. Had the setup on A previously. This time, anticipating that Gen.G, they're probably going to go towards B. And they just have the right angles to get all of the information. This comes down again to just how well the players know each other and how they position themselves on the site. Foxy was not initially out in the open, but he swings out as he hears the blast pack through. Yeah. With that, the triple kill that put himself back up on top. 19 kills and only 11 deaths.
Yeah, for Foxy, it's not even about, super crisp aim in that moment. It's about the timing, as you mentioned, and the positioning, right? They just did not expect someone to be at that corner. And he just gets so much value as they push in through hookah. It felt a little bit rushed, but I think Gen.G were just trying to, up the tempo. But as you mentioned, I think DRX just read it. Stax had the call to say, okay, they're probably going to rush into B, and both Buzz and Foxy were just so ready for it. And Foxy just got a great angle, picks up the 4K. And now Gen.G are really going to have to go back to the drawing board. They still have 1 timeout, which is definitely going to need to be used before the end of this match with how close this first map is.
I could feel like a potential overtime coming, Valdez. Are we ready for this one? But it's just so fun to watch because we started off this second half with Gen.G like 5 rounds in a row. Now we're back into it, and DRX are fighting back with all of their might. Stax on the off angle. Meteor swings back out to trade. Now Gen.G has the site. You've got Buzz on an operator in a retake. It is tough days for DRX as they try to close out this map.
Cage triggered.
Gen.G, very nice spot here. This time the entry a bit more clean. And Buzz going to swap over to the Vandal for now.
He has paint shells, but they don't know that Gen.G are behind them.
They're just going to put up the pit. That defuse is going to be stopped here before the half. Oh, the spray is not hitting.
Karon though, Buzz! He's able to turn around. Trades up for Mako, and with the paint shells, puts Lakia away. If he gets the kill, he could stick the defuse, but Lakia's just toying with him. The ex-teammate comes back up on top. You did not make the right move removing me from DRX.
That was just crazy. He was dancing like a butterfly behind that wall. I mean, they just could not lock him down. The fact that it got that close, though, I think, committing to the pit, trying to hold the defuse, I think he tried to get it to half, and he came off of it just a little bit too early. Tripwire was very good to stop the initial engage, but Gen.G eventually got on the site, and then Lockett. Just playing with him.
And that's just the best thing. We saw him with some shade earlier on, and this time he's the one who secures the round, closes it out for Gen.G. And because of that, Gen.G's back into control again. I was just about to say that DRX might be holding the reins this time, but now we've got texture on the operator. You've got so many ultimates on the side of DRX, though, and if they cycle these right, they just might be able to come in with some secure retakes to put themselves onto match point first.
I wouldn't be too surprised. Oh. Bit scary. Dodging Texture's operator shot. Must make you feel pretty good. And it's going to get a read that there was a guy over there. But now actually a quick rotation over here from Gen G to maybe hit the A site. And not quite the same setup with 3 members with 3 nades in this A short that we saw that one time.
You can see that Bane is positioned around defender spawn though. He's setting up for that orbital strike to stop them down. It does buy just a little bit of time, but it's still 30 seconds. Texture has to make a quick move. And he goes in with a Vandal. It's not the headshot. It's that Bane and Foxy9 gets everything. Foxy9 again! A bit of a last-ditch effort from Lakia to go through the teleporter, and he has to get the timing onto this, but he does not. Buzz anticipates and reads the movements perfectly. Times out his peak. Lakia has no joy in this round whatsoever, cannot secure a spike plant. And once again, the star of DRX comes back down. Spray the logo on the floor.
Yeah. So we take a look at this first shot. I don't think we're going to see it, actually, from the side as Foxy just picks up, I believe, 2. Bane also got 1 from Lamps, and then Buzz does clean it up. And that's a wall. So this is going to be the timeout call. Here from Gen G, sitting at 11 to 10 in favor of DRX, so gotta use it here before it does get too late.
That wall was pretty unsettling, man, I gotta say. Like, just a few seconds of silence, and you're just like, whoa,
Yeah.
that round just happened.
It was pretty intense, that one. I think that Gen G kind of had their entry, but we're not expecting Bane to hold Lamps as well as he did. Foxy, who has really been the MVP for me so far on this first map, to hold it down once again with the 3K. Just getting the vision through the box the one time. A little bit of help from his teammates to secure a 3rd kill and give them a chance to hold down the A site with, I think there were only 2 members on the A site, maybe 3. Just a little bit more spread out. And DRX, they can feel it, they can taste this first map. Even getting 1 map is going to feel good against Gen G, and it might just give them the momentum to push on to a bit more. But Gen G are definitely not out of this one yet.
These Korean Giants, pound for pound, blow for blow, they are making every round count. And with this timeout, there is a chance that Gen G can turn this around on its head. 3 rounds in a row would give them the win over DRX. Buzz has the showstopper. Gen G, a complete bag of pistols, and they just try to execute through. Mako with the positioning, and not an expected turn, and he takes down 2.
Yeah, that's one way to make sure they don't have any luck here with a bunch of sheriffs. Just get right in their face in the one spot they won't expect you to be.
He said that so many times in this match.
Yeah, you know, maybe they'll expect it from here on out. Like he's done it enough times that perhaps they'll expect it, but it's still so difficult to try to whip that one around with the sheriff and win against his Vandal, so.
I will say that the round is not over. Texture still has the showstopper. Not yet deployed. For now, trying to get the angles onto its DRX, but look at the coordination on these peaks. Everyone swings out at the same time from multiple spots, whether it's showers, heaven, or just around the site. Bane puts the final nail in the coffin and gives DRX map points, excuse me.
Yeah, map points here, and you see Gen G finally going to be able to buy up. They still have those 3 ults, so they tried to send it, but I think eventually once they realize after this play, Mako picking up the 2 and then going through the teleporter, they just say, okay, hold on to everything. Well, maybe we can take a kill or something, but they're not going to commit to anything further, and they'll just try to win, you know, a couple more rounds. in a row from here on out.
Oh boy.
With the showstopper, with some seekers, and a pit. I mean, these are going to be very useful, especially if they can get the spike planted for, you know, the seekers, the pit specifically. And maybe Texture can open it up. Let's see where they decide to make their play.
So far, they've been trying to play this information game, Valdez. It's always the first 30 seconds of the round where they try to scout and feel out DRX's setup, but once you're up against map point, the pressure, the trepidation that you feel, something that you have to barrel through, and something that they might not expect is Stacks lying inside of Hookah with a judge.
Yeah.
Mako has a judge too, I just noticed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just
Maybe expecting to have to play into a pit or something, but here we go.
Oh! Swaps back over onto the Phantom as he hops out of Hookah. Texture's showstopper will connect, but here comes Buzz with his own rockets. Doesn't even matter as Bane swings out, picks up the quadruple kill, and closes out the map for DRX. He stands up with an unexpected smile on his face.
We were so busy watching a blind Buzz in the air that Bane got a quadra, and we didn't even see how it happened. But DRX, more importantly, 13-10, big win here on Bind. As the fans, you can see, are extremely happy, especially because they know how strong of an opponent Gen G is.
So for now, DRX will take a big chunk out of the Tigers and Gen G, and our desk will break down everything that just happened.
Well, we knew we were in for a big one here with this match. I mean, Paper, then how many impossible plays did we see in just that one map?
Oh, an insane amount. I mean, how many people were shot out of the air as raises? Like, we did that Charon flick was absolutely bonkers early on onto the B-side exec onto Buzz. I mean, I feel bad for Buzz because you got to be like, how do you do that?
Yes.
I think it was just a classic.
It was a bouncing Buzz.
It's unbelievable. I mean, tremendous plays all around from a lot of different players, a lot of people stepping up, even Bane getting into it at the end. So what an exciting match.
Back-to-back thrifties as well. Sure, okay. That fourth round where Gen G, it's technically not a thrifty, but then they were all like on pistols except for like Texture was on a Vandal, and then DRX still somehow managed to get that win. DRX also got the thrifty round after that. Pretty insane first map to get things started with.
Yeah, it feels like this was a whole series, actually. It feels like we went through a whole best-of-3 series already with just how close it came down. It came down to like really small clashes. It came down to like 2v1s. It came down to timings in this one, and it just shows the mastery that both of these teams have and just how well they know each other. We knew this was going to be a very emotionally charged match as well.
No, it was. I mean, you could see it early on. Like, I could tell, you could sometimes tell just like the way that the players are moving, like, you know, like how fast they're going. Like Lockie in the beginning was just so fast. I was like, oh my gosh, like he is really fired up. You know, the adrenaline gets into you and you're really trying to make things happen. Didn't work out early for Gen G. I mean, obviously you can see here their post plates were good. The problem was getting to them, right? DRX was really shutting them down nicely on the defender side, setting up some of those trap plays, you know, some of those tripwires from Foxy9 were really, really good. But really this was about the attacker side for DRX, right?
Yeah, actually both of the teams had some pretty stellar attacking sides, and this is where it kind of gets interesting, where even though that was kind of the case with DRX, Buzz was at the lowest of, you know, the kill board here, where he's like 12 kills compared to like Foxy9. So even though sure DRX has their executes onto the site, Buzz turned into like a punching bag, you know, a way to get into the site. He gets traded off immediately, and everyone else just kind of funnels in right after him. It works for DRX, and at least it was also able to give them that boost to kind of buffer some rounds in that second half when you look like Gen G was, you know, coming back.
Yeah,
Buzz became the boom bot.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I was going to say it's like kind of like dipping their toes in the water before they jump in, and Buzz is kind of, I like the boom bot analogy a lot more though. But yeah, look at this. I have to give it up to Foxy9 here. I mean, I just called him out in the pre-show, right? Like, oh, how comfortable is he really on the Sentinel? I have no questions now. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Look at this, and like, look at the way he was lurking as well.
Exactly. I mean, I think this is one of the pivot points for this series, is how Foxy9 does versus Munchkin and Meteor in particular, right? Like, those are probably usually going to be the two, sometimes Texture, but usually the two players that he's going to be coming up against the most in this role, and he does phenomenal here. His showers control was brutal. Like, to deal with. He was so oppressive on their attacker side in particular, but I mean, this is what makes him so impactful in the Sentinel role, is he can lock down those flank angles so well for you, and when you could shut down Munchkin, who's been one of the best in the world in First Bloods this year, that's going to give you huge potential for DRX coming out through the rest of this match.
And speaking of DRX, just wanted to add, he's a little bit quiet this game. Bane, he's got a weird thing where he got caught by Texture's nade, where he just kind of didn't get away from it, got killed, but then he had one of the most insane shots that I've seen in this one. You're talking about Charon, he also had one. Boombot being pushed, blinded on lamp, still gets the pick.
Somehow.
Insanity.
There are so many moments like that in this, right? And like as you mentioned, Paperthin earlier, Lakia just had this confidence going up against a team that he knows so well, right? And we saw that same, that same kind of like rattiness, as you mentioned, carry over to every single player in this match. I think that's why it made it so exciting to watch. And something else just comes over these players when they know they can play at their best against an adversary that will challenge them the way they want.
Yeah, I guarantee this was on both teams' calendars, like coming into this, right? Like coming into this stage, like this one, this one's got the red circle around it for sure, and you can see it. The level of play was tremendous. I mean, Gen G and their post play, it's phenomenal. If they could get to it, Lakia and others, they're so disciplined, they're so good at making sure they don't overpeak, they don't give you any opportunities to catch them off guard. We saw it time and time again. We saw it against Mako, we saw it against Buzz. They were doing a great job with that. It was just DRX was just a little bit too good at making sure they couldn't get to that situation.
Yeah, but I will say, though, there were some times where DRX did look kind of iffy. We're talking about, Buzz. I think there was a great play here from Gen G where they kind of doubled down on the B side where they saw Buzz was like, again, with the operator on B, they thought it was going to rotate to A, which was absolutely right, so they pressed in. So you know that even though Gen G did lose this first map, they had some pretty good on-the-fly calls to really press on DRX.
Yeah, and it goes to show, it's a testament to how skilled, both IGLs on both sides are, right? Again, as we keep mentioning, these teams know each other so well. You're dealing with the most veteran players in Valorant on both these sides, right? You have Munchkin and you have Tax on the other side as well. So this matchup is, something again that feels like it should be also our grand finals. It kind of feels like it already is, but right now we are still dealing with a map number 2. I know it doesn't feel that way, but we are dealing with map number 2. We are heading into Ascent here, Paperthin, and it's a map that, has a lot of history on the side of DRX as well. And I feel like it's a map that, I think you would know, wouldn't you?
They've been around the block on Ascent a few times. Yeah, a few memorable matches here and there. I mean, I think Ascent is going to be another tightly contested map. I think the big thing that I noticed as well for DRX on that bind was that they kept the operator out of Texture's hands for a very long time because their attacker side was so potent. He was never really able to get into. Once he did, he found a lot of value. That was some of the rounds where Gen G was kind of able to fight back a little bit. So for me, coming into Ascent, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, is keeping that operator out of Texture's hands. If he does get it, what are your systems in place to deal with it?
Yeah, and I just want to add real quick, Stacks in those rounds where DRX was trying to struggle to transition in that second half, he had some pretty stellar flash support on the other players of DRX.
Yeah, I feel like here on Ascent, again, it could be anybody's game at this point. And I feel like, on Ascent, Gen G also has the potential to make a comeback, right? We do see a lot of heavy plays coming out of players like Munchkin, players like Meteor, for example, who, if you had Foxy9 on the side of DRX earlier, Meteor was still putting up the numbers as well, right? That quiet sort of like guy who's like right in the back, who you don't want to be up against if it's like a 1v2 or 1v3.
No doubt. I mean, it's crazy how much clutch potential is on both of these teams. Oh, wait, we have a question. Okay.
We do have a question over here.
This is important for Aserai. He's trying to rank up.
Okay. This is the game already. We're on the game.
So, we do have a question. We do have a little mini game over here, which I will be taking over for today. We have, which site will the first spike be planted on here on Ascent? Is it going to be on A or B? And
so this is the pistol,
I do have my own...
Okay.
Yeah, which site? Well, which site? It doesn't have to be the pistol, right? It might not get planted.
No, yeah.
Just whichever site.
This spike.
So
the spike has to go
who's
down.
Attacking?
The spike has to.
Do you guys remember?
DRX is... Gen G is attacking.
Did a Gen G...
Can we check that?
Who picked one?
Do we have one over there?
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll double check.
Maybe it's better we don't know, but I do believe DRX is attacking first.
DRX is okay.
DRX is attacking first.
I heard the voices in our heads. All right.
We tagged with the voices in our heads. So bad. Okay, I don't have
I'm going to do what I've
answer.
been doing that's been working for me and picking the opposite of what I think will actually happen.
Okay, all right.
This has been working.
Let's get ready to show our answers in 3, 2, 1. Ooh.
What did we pick? What is-
Oh,
That's so small.
I'm sorry, my bad. Right? It's so tiny. Okay,
so
here.
small.
It's a big.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's
It's her
tiny.
first day. She needed to know.
I need to save space for the other answers
It's a
in my
B
life.
for ants. You can barely read it.
But we have Azurai and myself with B, and we have Paper Thin with A. But you mentioned that this is opposite of
Yeah.
What's your strategy?
No,
here?
I mean, I think B is just a little bit easier to navigate for
Okay.
the attacker side on a pistol. I mean, it's a little bit easier to get
Yeah.
through some of those defenses initially. It's a lot easier for your opponents to like crunch on you as you're trying to plan on A.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, all right. Well, we'll see what indeed happens as we step into our map, and let's head into our agent picks right now for map number 2. You're seeing our stage right now, and we are about to step into Ascent. So, what are we thinking here? Are we staying with a good old default comp? Yes, we are. No surprises here.
I mean,
your faces are just like, well.
Not shocked.
yeah. The only thing I was kind of maybe hoping for is Stax brings out a Fade, but that's about it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
exciting.
I know.
I mean,
it's a Ascent.
some teams are messing around with the Rays. You know, like obviously May because he's just a goated Rays, but you do see in other regions Yoru being used. So I mean, I could see that potentially sliding through. You know, Team Liquid just did it last night, but I don't think either of these teams are uncomfortable with this comp. But they've had tons of success with it throughout their histories. You know, these players and these coaches and everything. So
Yeah.
I'm not even a little bit surprised. It's just going to come down to, again, individual execution. You know, can you keep that operator out of Texture's hand? The op looked really uncomfortable on Buzz again today, and that's kind of been one of those things that if you're going to fault Buzz for much, it is sometimes his operator can lose him.
Yeah. We might not see too many lurks now coming in from Foxy9, so that might be a point of contention here for DRX, at least when they're going to be on the defending side.
Well, we'll see indeed what happens as we step into Ascent. Let's toss it on over to our casters, Quack and Valdez.
Thank you very much, Mika, Asterai, and Paper Thin. Yes, we are back on Ascent, the same compositions, but two different teams. And, you know, DRX might have had their way with this map before, but Gen G picking this one against them, maybe they've got some improvements made.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do bring into this one. I think that Gen G, they have a little bit of downtime after that first map. They say, okay, it was pretty close on Vine, but now our reign begins. This is where the comeback for Gen G begins. And they would pick this map for a reason, right, as you're kind of hinting to. And so I'm excited to see what they do have prepared for this one. As an early dagger does come out, and Munchkin and the team are getting out here pretty aggressively to challenge in A main. And now they're just running away from Buzz's frenzy. It is going to be a 1-for-1 trade for now.
A little bit of a pick-off. DRX continues to try to push through. Again, it stacks his pop flash, and unfortunately, not too much of a blind. Karen's still able to hang back around Generator, but then Foxy9 with the sharper aim. 2-on-2, spike not yet planted. The door gets shut, and Lakia sends out the shock dart. It just narrowly misses Foxy9. He puts down the bot, but it doesn't quite spot out Bane just yet, who's able to drop down, pick up a bit of a frag. Still, that's gonna be the spike picked up, 50 seconds to work with. Should be able to secure a safe plan at the very least. He tosses out the recon just to keep Lakia away. And then another recon back against him. Lakia with the movement hops up on top of Generator. Big noise, and Bane is just confused. Lakia meshes with his head. Oh.
Yeah, a lot of hopping around, a bit of stomping off of that one, and well, Lakia hit the shot first, so it is going to go his way. Came down to the 1v1, but Gen G getting aggressive out here. Wasn't necessarily expecting this, but ended up going pretty well for them at the end of the day, even though DRX was able to get this plant down. Has a really nice shot here from Lakia. Kind of a half-hearted fist bump there. He's like, yeah, I know I'm good. And that's going to be a good start here for Gen G on the defender's side.
And because of that, they are buying up in full. Oh, wow. 3 Guardians. They're not looking to leave anything up to chance. And this is a map where you're going to have to work with so much information. DRX just continues to try to buzz through. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work out. Gen G are able to hang back and just take the fights against them simply and easily. only losing the Spectre in this round.
Yeah, they'll be fine with that. Some pretty intense shots hit there by Lakia, who already has 5 kills on this one. Ooh. So he's going to have his ult early in case Foxy gets his eventually. As this one, that shot was just insane. I mean, he's blinded, he's got a paranoia in his face, hits another one over here, and then a third. And Lakia is currently on top of this map so far.
Which is why it's like a bit of an interesting thing to me why DRX wanted to start out on the attack side for this map of all things. Because normally defense is where you would be able to shine more. I guess trying to expose a lot of Gen G's setups and strategies, trying to take things into their own hands. Again, another bit of a pop flash execute, but doesn't matter. Munchkin able to turn the site into a firing range. Foxy9's the only one left, and all of those rifles just scattered to the wind.
Yeah, Foxy, I mean, at the end of the day, maybe he just wants to back out of this one because that entry, it's like they went in, they tried to get a setup, but Gen G responded so quickly that it was almost like DRX were just caught in mud, and they didn't move, they didn't have anywhere to go, and Gen G were just firing down from the heavens on top of them, and there wasn't much recourse. DRX not really in a spot to fire back, so Foxy just gonna slowly and awkwardly walk out of this one.
30 seconds left.
Just try to get out alive. Not sure that Gen 2 will allow him to, as maybe trying to get the drop onto Munchkin. They're going to pass for now.
He's trying to save, but still slight bits of movement. And I mean, if you're just able to kind of anticipate, all right, he might have been around A main with the rest of the team. He's probably going to be around this side, around Gelato, if not, I guess, attacker spawn, and lo and behold, there he was. And if you look at what happens in this retake, I mean, first of all, quick rotations from Gen G, but also just, I mean, the way that they're hanging back. Stax's flashes are always ignored. Past 3 rounds now, DRX has just gone in with the same-ish execute, and they just rushed through. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Didn't work at all. They got picked off one by one. The guys are coming out of the smoke by themselves, just dying immediately to a Guardian. Now they're trying to get in here quick and often.
But it doesn't work out too great, Valdez. Oh, look at Munchkin just feasting on the DRX's corpses. Meteor comes back in for the final trade. Almost an ace for the IGL of Gen G.
And yeah, Lakia was on top. Lakia still hasn't died, but now Munchkin has 9 kills. So he's kind of the main character at the moment.
That was just one round. He got all those kills.
Yeah. Well, he had a 4K in the round before with the Guardian as well. And then now, you see a similar push. Not a lot of firepower from the side of DRX, but Munchkin, he throws out a flash, gets this one, and then he just holds. He just waits for them to peek him one by one. And there was a double peek at the end, so finally they trade him back, but
aw, would you look at that?
Sending a little kiss over. But now at 4-0, DRX will call a timeout. They don't want to waste any more time losing, as so far Ascent has been very heavily to the side of Gen G, not just in round score, but even the way the rounds are playing out.
I mean, how do you like that round, DRX? It feels as though DRX are just trying to go through with a bit of a pacing mismatch. Everyone just continues to rush into sight, whether it's B or A. And Buzz often going in as first point of contact, but they're just not quite able to deal with Munchkin or whoever is holding around Hell or Generator on the site. And now, because of those rounds lost in a row,
लगाओ लगाओ आ गया लगा लो
लगा रहे हैं वे।
को ना देखो तो मेरा जी घबराता है भाई टेक टू क्या टेक टू
पेट से है क्या घबरा रहा है ना
देख रहा है विक्की
क्या वे?
सुन रहा है सब
सब सुन रहा है वो
कैसे कैसे बात कर रहे हैं बाबा मैं तेरे कदमों में रख दूं ये जहां इश्क दीवानगी
Match found.
मैं
तू तो मेरे अकाउंट से खेला कर बे
तो नाम देख के आते हैं ना वहाँ लोग स्ट्रीम देखने
हाँ
हाँ
चेंज करने में मेरे
यहाँ जैसे लोगों को देखता है कबीर गेमिंग लाइव सीधा जाते हैं वो सर्च करते हैं कबीर गेमिंग लाइव और फिर पूरी स्ट्रीम देखते हैं और फिर लास्ट में बोलते हैं बेटा तुमको स्ट्रीम स्नैप कर दिया हमने तेज चल समझ रहे हो
स्ट्रीम ऑन कर दी वैसे मैंने शिफ्ट कर दी इधर बहुत ज़्यादा लैग हो रही थी
क्या कर दिया तूने
शिफ्ट
मतलब तू खुद की स्ट्रीम करने लग गया तू चाहता है मैं मोबाइल में खोल लूँ
खोल लो तेरी मर्जी
तो तुम कह रहे हो तुमको ये पता नहीं ये कौन है तुम उस पर नहीं जानते
फोटा क्यों आ रहा तेरा स्क्रीन
और सेटिंग कर रहा हूँ अभी ठीक हो गया होगा
खतरनाक मूवी है भाई तो तुम इसको नहीं जानते
तो बस काफी है ना
है भाई हैं
आवाज़ कट रही भाई की थोड़ी
ना तो कट
क्लोज का स्मोक काफी है मैं बोल रहा हूँ
हाँ काफी
भाई आवाज कट रही बोल रहे थे तेज कम नहीं बोल रहे हम
कानों से घी बाहर आ गया सूरज का
भाई आपका व्हाट्सएप स्टेटस तो बहुत भारी है अलोन याद तेरी आएगी मुझको बड़ा सताएगी है क्यों भाई
बाबा अगली बार सूरज साइड करके डालेंगे
अरे भाई याद तेरी आएगी मुझको बड़ा भाई बदलने तो नहीं चलेगा ये भाई
ऐसे लोडू से फर्क पड़ने लगा तो हो गया
सही बात है वेलेरिया वाइड बीबीटी
थंबनेल कैसा लग रहा सूरज
वो जेट वाला
उस पर कुछ लिखा भी है
अच्छा कुछ लिखा है फिर देख के आता हूँ रेट कर इंस्टाग्राम टू क्लेम 5 और इंस्टाग्राम मिले विक्की क्लेम करने के लिए लॉलीपॉप जैसे बाकायदा लिंक ट्री पे उनकी लिंक डली हुई पहले नंबर पे
कितने दिन में है
हो रहा है 3 में हो रहा है और लिंक अभी तक डली है करूंगा बाद में पहले डाल पहले तेरा वो तो देखूं क्या है क्या बोल रहा है
Reloading. Reloading.
मुझे 2 मिले रे
आर्ट पेट से किया था ना पेट खेल रहा था
क्या डाला है रोट ऐसी
सही है ना
Bro, I will do the smoke only.
बहुत बढ़िया एक नंबर
Ask me. So give me, bro.
वो लिख दूं क्या मैं
क्या स्ट्रीम स्नाइप वाला आ लिख दे ना
It is girl.
ओए वो महंगे पड़ा भाई
Drop in a smoke.
ओ हरामजादी हेड से मार दी
मरेगा एक नहीं बच गया। अरे भाई पड़ी उसको सेज को पूरा हेड पे।
One enemy.
हीलर है क्या ब्रो?
नहीं ना retreat.
एस ले
एस कहाँ से ले?
ये था ना बम ही बम दिए भाई मैंने तो बहुत डाला बम से सब।
वो चाहिए भाई?
तुम्हें ये तो नहीं चाहिए ना।
अरे बाबा भाई ले आए वे सूरज देगा तूने?
देखा और मैं किनारे से निकल गया भाई।
भाई ले आए भाई।
तो अभी ट्राई किया फटाक से देखा आगे भाई चलो ले लो फिर।
सेज के पीछे रहना सूरज बहुत महंगी गन ली उसने।
क्या बात कर रहा हूँ क्या?
ए अबे साले कितने सारे लोग खड़े थे।
एक्स्ट्रा देखने के लिए कोई नहीं है वैसे उनके।
पड़ गया क्लोक को। अबे कहाँ से आ गई ये? है ना कहाँ घुसती थी अंदर हराम के जो क्लोक 135 है।
Spike down A.
अबे ऊपर है।
80 bro 80 दे.
सूरज ये लो है जे सेज अपना।
भाई गन मेरे पास देना तो उसको बोल।
नहीं देगा ना खरीदी है उसने उठाई थोड़ी है।
One enemy remaining.
लो है सेज जेड क्या नाम है उसका रेस जो भी है लो है। यहीं खड़ी हो चकरी।
Last player
अरे यहीं
standing.
से आ गया।
30 seconds left.
अबे आमरेस सेट हो जा भाई।
कर ले अपने आप को।
आवाज रहेगी अगर कर लिया तो।
अब तो पता चल गया उसको।
देखने आ गए वैसे लौंडे ना।
10 seconds left.
He knows your location. क्या चूतिया बंदा था बे। कौन ही देख गया इसकी।
Thank you. One dream ends, another begins. Reloading.
135 मारा था क्लोक को मैंने। किया।
लोना पू।
आ गई।
काम कर रहा है। कहाँ बंदे? क्यों हो गया? क्या रे?
होल्ड कर। अरे 117।
Last player standing.
देखिए दो बल डाली है पीछे से आ रहा है आराम से।
117 है हाँ आराम से गया।
170 तो यहाँ वाला होगा ना रेजियर
नहीं ब्रीच था ब्रीच।
एक तो उधर जब
One enemy remaining.
कहाँ बैठा है वो?
कूदा वो
मार ले मार।
Complete bro, complete. You can't come.
हो जाएगा। अरे वो वॉल से नीचे पीछे कूदा वो तो सामने भी कितना बड़ा वाला है।
Okay, Raze, reloading. Your team's have a drop. I'm sorry.
ड्रॉप मांग ले बाबा ये मांग रहा चूतिया लोग।
बड़ा वाला मांग रहा है।
नहीं ये पैसा भेजा कट
KJ, can you buy Bulldog? I'll buy next one.
बुलडॉग मांग रहा है।
नहीं मत
I can't ask.
Ask her.
Over, bro. Over.
सी चेक कर। इसके बाद भाई खेल तो लेंगे पर ऐसे ही सीरियसली नहीं खेल रहे हैं, कभी भी थ्रो कर देंगे हम लोग। तो अगर रैंक प्यारी हो तो देख लेना। हाँ वैसे
Can I get you?
अबे आगे होंगे ना, उसने वॉल कर दी ना, छोड़ना आएंगे वो।
तो बॉल तो उड़ भी तो गई ना, लग गया लंका।
मिड से आई, ए साइड से।
Bomb buddy out. Spike planted.
अरे
Last player standing.
अरे अंधे में मार दिया, साला कनकस में।
स्प्लिट क्यों आ रहे हैं ये लोग?
अबे ये बीच में
Flawless.
ले, वो भी नहीं जा पाया।
थ्रो कर देते हैं यार हम लोग, कभी मन नहीं होता खेलने का।
Don't leave the side.
अरे हम मजे के लिए खेलने आ रहे, सीरियस खेलने नहीं आए हैं वैसे। तो इसलिए अगर हमारा मन हुआ कि भाई थ्रो करना है।
सीरियस खेल चुके हैं भाई, जितना खेलना था पहुंच गए डायमंड 2। अब आ गए वापस मजे
अगर
करने।
आपको कोई ये सोच के आ रहा है कि खेलेंगे, अगर सरेंडर बोलो, सरेंडर भी नहीं हो रहा तो नहीं मतलब फिर भाई। क्योंकि हमको उतना नहीं लगता ना भाई कि यार हमको नहीं खेलने वाला मैच, आप कर भी नहीं रहे हो।
मजा नहीं आ रहा तो सरेंडर बाहर।
हाँ, सरेंडर बाहर दूसरा लगा लिया, पूरा थोड़ा ना खेलते बैठेंगे, इंटरेस्ट भी नहीं रखता वो। ये है क्या बाबा, आ जाओ।
आ जाओ।
100 bro.
अरे भाई
बहुत बढ़िया।
अबे यार उसने डिसमिस कर दिया।
होल्ड करके जो से
Spike planted. Last player standing.
दिक्कत हो गई। इसका वॉल भी नहीं है,
होल्ड करके
3 लोग चढ़ के कहाँ से वॉल डाल लेता। लेफ्ट में वो था, राइट में 2 लोग थे, सी चढ़ रहे हैं। बस को सी के जाना है हमेशा, सी खेलना, उसके सी जा रहा है बार-बार।
और ये होल्ड ही नहीं कर पा रही है, तो काफी अंदर गार्डन में घुसी हुई।
वो क्यों नहीं कर पा रही? पीछे खेलने का ट्राई करो, निकल जाएगा।
सीज पे को, सीज यहाँ पे ऊपर थोड़ा।
बच्चा क्यों आगे कूदिए, बगले वो नहीं मर जाएगी खुद ही।
सी आ रहा है क्या
लग तो रहा है।
Back up.
आ रहा हूँ।
सी
For you.
अबे हील तो था मैं, क्यों ले?
Like I never left. My ultimate is ready.
और कौन सा क्रॉस है अपने पास?
जा पेल।
मुझे प्लांट ही नहीं हुआ है।
One enemy remaining. Spike down. C.
साइड मर जाओ, सब मर जाओ।
Another dead loader.
कहाँ मरे वे सब?
तो खा गया वो।
Paint.
भाई हमने तो 2 खेल दिया भाई। ये ले, इसको चाहिए।
Nowhere in.
कौन सा क्रॉस है रे?
भेजे वेंडर फेंटर नहीं हो रहा क्या?
नहीं हो रहा, कुछ नहीं हो रहा। देखिए दोबारा फेंकेगा पेंट शेल।
एक सेकंड में लिखने बैठ गया।
Where are you?
बी
जी पलट मार दिया चूती जी उसको लगा तो कनका से
मेरे पास ऊपर आया विक्की तेरे लेफ्ट साइड
हाँ है बे मिड पे
Spike planted.
डैमेज मत कीजिए
तो बैठना पड़ेगा
You will not kill my allies.
यहीं फंसा एक मेरे नीचे हाँ क्या था यहीं तो था
Love explosion.
बोल रहे हैं
यहीं था बे
मेरे
बाहर चला गया
हां दे लो था जाए गन उसको अंदर रखो पहले उसको अंदर अरे यार
पैसे की बर्बादी
रेज ब्रो
स्टिंगर मिल गई मेरे को उठा दिया उसने स्टिंगर मिल गई मेरे हाथ में स्टिंगर आ गई
ये क्या बोल गया भाई ये
Right here.
जब हम मारने क्या रहा था
आ जाऊंगी
Spike down. Attacker spawn.
अरे बम मार गया
सेव है वो उसका सेव
सूरज जाना भी
दौड़ ही रहा हूं
बहुत देर में दौड़ा
ओके
साले
आराम से जा आराम से अबे आते साथ सर पे सीजा एक दौड़ एक सीजा
साथ में ही चले जाओ क्या ही स्ट्रीम एंडिंग क्यों आ गया बे क्या दबा दिया मैंने
दबा दी होगी कोई सी की बाइंडिंग
Spike planted.
I'll find you.
बच गया बाबू
Reloading. No peekins.
लेफ्ट राइट दोनों जगह हो सकता
लेफ्ट नहीं है राइट
Last player
दोनों जगह शायद लेफ्ट राइट बैठे
बैठे हैं साल
Don't die. Reloading.
मैं जा रहा हूँ जब
ओए आपको तो खाता ही नहीं कुछ
दोबारा एंटर
चले गए क्या भाई यश भाई
क्या पता
यश भाई
खेल रहा है वो कॉम्पिटिटिव एजेंट सिलेक्शन में बैठा
सैमसंग के नीचे पसंद नहीं आई भाई को
अब भाई यही कंडीशन में
No peeking.
नहीं है आप
फिर भी
सी देख के
के जी सी होल्ड करता
अबे सी लगाए चीजें सर्कल पे हूं
ए पे दिखाई
ये सामान
दो जूते दिख गए तीन आ जा यार
आ जाओ
Bomb buddy out. Grenade.
अरे क्या बोल
Satchel up.
ये नंबर
अबे यार दोनों लो हैं 146 रेज
स्पाइक किस पे
Reloading.
पता नहीं मुझे
जा रहे हैं
अबे 80 खाए
रोटेट से
Last player
अबे ये तो
standing.
ये कहां से आया भाई अबे ये क्या ऊपर से आ गया यार
घूम के आया भाई पूरा घूम के आया
Again. Reloading. Is a crack and the crack is fresh. Reloading.
मुझे लगा वो शायद वहां जाएगा यहाँ कहीं
Can I get a drop?
बस क्यों दे रहा है छोड़ दे रहा है जान दे
स्किन है ही नहीं ना ये वो है नकली स्किन पैसा बर्बाद कर दो अरे
तो अबे वो गंदा मार रहा है वॉर क्लोथ दोनों गंदा मार रहे हैं
गन पड़ी मेरी, उठा लो।
Spike planted.
नीचे की सूरज।
Multiple enemies A.
बे यार 10 चीजें तो वो फेंक दे रहा है।
इनका हेड भाई गंदा मार
Last
रहे हैं
player
लोग।
standing.
नहीं दिखा रहा है फिर भी।
Train harder.
मत रह गए।
भाई इनको ऐसे मिल रहा है, हमको नहीं मिल रहा है ऐसे।
भाई वही ना, इसके साथ देख ना कितने प्यार से चल रहा है इनका गेम, और हमको देखो।
सेव करना पड़ेगा एक राउंड।
You're going to scatter from my stuff.
से पड़ जाती है भाई।
सुनना चाहता हूँ भाई मैं तो।
अरे स्पीकर में एक है।
ब्रो ये वॉल कर दे ब्रो, इसे रशिंग में वॉल कर। ये वॉल
अबे बी वॉल करते एक खेल ले, या वहां वॉल कर, कहीं तो करते।
Bomb buddy out.
होल्ड करो।
सी पे 2-3 लोग हैं।
No peeking.
बी छोड़ रहा हूँ।
Spike down.
कवर दे दो यार, 3 मार।
One enemy remaining.
Gotcha,
fun. My turn. One enemy remaining.
मेरे को कहाँ पे पड़ी?
मर मत मैं।
Last player standing.
भाई क्या मुचोद चूतिया लौंडे हम।
भाई इसकी तो भाई किस्मत इतनी अच्छी है ना, कोई
हाँ
हिसाब।
किस्मत अच्छी है इसकी, बच गया वो लो था।
Last round before the switch.
We cannot keep our
Gone here.
Can someone get this?
हाँ ला।
Stage the wall here bro, you can hold here.
लो वेक है।
ये ए होगा, विक्की ए होगा।
They will come here only bro. That's all. You can wall here bro.
या।
नहीं है।
They will come now.
किधर कौन है?
Caution here.
खड़ा है। क्या मत जाएंगे।
सी पे है?
पेड़ है सी।
सी पे। सी पे।
अबे ये पे बहुत सारे हैं बे।
ए पे भी बहुत है।
बी पे।
आजा।
सी पे एक है, 2 है सी पे, एक पीछे से आएगा। 2 तो सी पे। और ऐसा लगता है रैप भी मिल जाए उसको।
30 seconds left.
पीछे ऊपर।
Kill my allies.
देखिए यहीं दिया उसने, लो भाई ये। राइट में तेरे ऊपर चढ़ा।
Spike planted.
लो।
क्या चूतिया से जा भाई अपने। देखिए यहीं तपा दे।
Where are you?
आपके बात के।
Take hold.
Last player standing.
वहाँ पे भी खड़ा लेफ्ट साइड ऊपर।
नीचे।
अरे
Switching sides.
Reloading.
Keep fighting.
Reloading.
Rest is overrated.
Reloading.
बिना देखूं तो दिल घबराता है, देख तुझको मेरी ये जाने में याद आता है। ओह क्या गाने बना देता हूँ यार कभी-कभी। भाई अभी गाने सुने हो?
बताओ है
Bro, the latest one, wait.
Where are you? Drop in a smoke. Grenade!
कैसे बनाना
Bomb buddy out. Down. Drop in a smoke. I have spike. I dropped the spike. Reloading.
हील है क्या?
Healing.
अबे मारना, कौन आया था मेरे
I have the
पास?
spike. I dropped the spike.
क्या भेजा भाई, तुमसे हो नहीं रहा।
हमसे भी नहीं हो रहा भाई।
अबे तंसन तो ऊपर तो है।
Last player
भेजा
standing. Team Ace.
जब मारना जब नहीं मार पा रहा बचाने के लिए। खुद के अकेले खेलो जा रहे हैं।
So you cover the body, bro.
Prepare yourselves. Reloading. Fight once again. Reloading.
69 की का कार्ड ऑफर व्यक्ति 40-60 के दाम मिल रहा है।
किल्स के लिए खेलो, आने
भाई
दो।
ले लो।
Reloading.
क्या अपने पिछवाड़े में डालूंगा?
वो 69,000 का 144 हर्ट्ज i7 12th जनरेशन
ले
16 GB रैम 8 GB ग्राफिक कार्ड 144 हर्ट्ज।
जल्दी नहीं
EMI पे ले लो भाई।
जल्दी ले।
मैं तो अब भी लिया भाई।
नहीं रे।
Bring them down. Enemy coming out.
दो हैं वहाँ।
Spike down. C.
वो वाले का निकाल ले।
You're right.
का है हिल दे। अरे है ही नहीं।
Destroyed.
मारो।
Alarm bot out. Placing swarm.
एक पीछे से आ रहा बैक स्टैप।
Placing swarm. I'll find you. No peeking.
लोग आ गए बैक स्टैप। भाई मर गया।
हमारा
दो बैक है, दोनों बैक से पूरे।
Last player standing. Found them. Alarm bot down. Bomb grenade out.
गन लगा, जज लगा।
One enemy remaining.
अबे शिट।
अबे यार वो नहीं
हो जाएगा, डिफ्यूज नहीं होगा।
जरूरत थी, वैसे फटना चाहिए।
फटेगा।
सही गाल।
Clutch.
की जरूरत है आगे जाके चुन मचाने की। रंग जमा दे सालन सा।
ढूंढना पड़ेगा।
Stand tall. We are Valorant. We are fighters. Reloading.
90 खाई थी रहना। किससे मारा उसको?
नहीं पता। सूरज तेज ने मारा तेज।
रहना को नहीं मारा मैंने। तेरी आएगी मुझको बड़ा सताएगी, घर जाएगी। क्यों बाबा मेरी आत्मा आएगी।
Reloading.
मेरे कलर जो रहेंगे।
I'll find you.
कहाँ पे गए?
Reloading. Take hold. Reloading. Hey. Enemy beast. Enemy.
प्रोटेक्ट सीखो जा।
Serious.
Bring them down. Satchel out. Satchel out. Bring them down.
आ जाओ यार।
कवर देने जाओ भाई।
Enemy spotted C. Reloading. Place right light planted.
अबे गलत लग।
तो साइड पड़ा।
Swarm grenade.
रहना को।
Placing swarm grenade. Reloading. That'll drop in a smoke.
मैं नहीं आ रहा, मेरे खिलाफ तो जिंदा रहते हैं।
Found them. Like I never left.
standing.
तेरे ऊपर खड़ा है सूरज।
Bomb grenade out.
One enemy remaining.
हम पे खेल ले।
भाग
आ रही तो
निकल
अबे
गया
यार वो अगली
Nice one, Zaki.
बच जाए।
कैसे गंदी हो जाती है
Clutch.
Calculated.
मैं नहीं जा रहा भाई मेरे नहीं छोड़ मैं नहीं जा रहा
Station is for amateurs. Let's go.
90 आ गई थी लेकिन ठीक है तो है सस्ता है विक्की तूने कितने का लिया था 66 का ना
Rage बढ़िया हुआ है.
बॉल हो गई।
वॉल को तोड़ के पीछे चले
खड़ी है ऊपर।
Spike down B.
There.
ए आ जाओ
ये खाली है
हाँ।
आ रहा हूँ
Loosen up.
अब नहीं है खाली, आ गए बंदे। वापस जा सकता है क्या बी? यहाँ से आ जा मेरे साथ।
जल्दी चल।
अरे तुम्हारे लेफ्ट में 120।
Alarm bot out. Bring them down. No picture.
ऊपर से आ रहा है ब्रीच, अंधा देगा वो।
Where are lights
Go
down?
main.
Placing swarm grenade. Placing swarm grenade.
भाई
Placing sentry.
पेड़ घूम के जा
अरे यहीं क्यों जा रहे हैं
Player
भाई?
standing.
तूने डैमेज कुछ भी नहीं दिया था क्या उसको?
अरे मैं देखा ही नहीं देख डैमेज देने का क्या फायदा देख ही नहीं पाया देखा होता तो मैं कुछ दे पाता लेकिन देखा ही नहीं यार
None of my stuff has been auctioned yet. Can we celebrate that? Reloading.
तो पिच
Spike is here. Don't overthink it. That's my job.
कैसे विक्की कहाँ जाने का
Caution here.
कहीं भी हो सकता है बंदा।
Ow!
देखा भाई पीछे बैठा था।
नहीं घुसेंगे यार यहाँ बंदा मारा ना नहीं घुसेंगे ये जाएंगे
Turret out.
राइफल को प्लान करने जा रहा हूँ और दे
आ रहा हूँ।
We'll catch them. Enemy A. Placing swarm grenade. Grenade! Lights down.
आजा
My
बाहर आ
ultimate.
जाओ।
Placing swarm grenade.
दो बंदे मरते हैं तो अल्ट लगा देना।
Placing alarm bot.
लग नहीं रहा दो मरेंगे
एक तो गया,
Hold on.
बावई लो
पीछे से आ रहा
है,
है
एक
अपने
बहुत
पास।
दूर है।
I'll find you.
पीछे कर दे रहा
क्लोज।
Bring them down. Bring them down. Swarm grenade out.
मैं एक तो से एक एचपी पे हूँ।
Found them. Swarm grenade out.
मार दे रहना लो अबे।
Enemy
What the
down.
fuck?
One
90
enemy
पड़ी
remaining. Last player
On side.
नहीं है अब तो पीछे
My ult is ready.
तो ये गोली का था क्या वो
हाँ लो था।
तो चीज तो मेरी तरफ से था बाकी का नहीं पता था मुझे तो मैंने बोला नहीं चीज क्या बोली
die. It was great knowing you all. Also, delete my hard drive.
तुझको ना देखो तो ला 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 समय की समाप्ति की घोषणा हुई बड़ी इतनी देर से
क्या है?
Time to work.
और बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम निकले हैं 2 बजे डाल देता हूँ मैं पैक अभी तो मैं 3:30 होने वाला डाला नहीं मिल ही नहीं पा रहा भाई कि क्या डाल दूँ
Headshot.
अरे वाह शॉर्टी भाई शॉर्टी जब देगा वो
Turret out.
कहाँ से देगा रे?
तो यहीं घुसना पड़ेगा
Bomb
हेड कर दूँ
Where are you?
रहने दे मत कर, अंदर जाके करना।
कवर देना प्लांट करूंगा
आल्ट भी कर ले
इधर लगाना आल्ट
पहले कवर दे
या तो अंदर ही लगा दे जहाँ अंदर इधर कहीं लगा दे अच्छा बाहर लगा बाहर इधर लगा दे
आल्ट कर रहा है केज आल्ट
ये डील में
आल्ट बचाना पड़ेगा ठीक है
अबे
नहीं टूटेगा नहीं टूटेगा
नहीं टूट रहा
तेरे बम फूट गया बस
नाइस मैन होल्ड कर प्रेस
ये में रीसेट नहीं हो रहा मेरा 62 रहना
अरे यार
Last player standing.
60 वाला सारे
One enemy remaining.
नाइस मैन
नहीं करना था जीत जाते
अबे नहीं आता ही नहीं वो
सॉरी ब्रो
कैसा दिख रहा पानी को
आता ही नहीं वो
Is everyone's text reloading? Double check it, please.
नहीं 120 वाला बंदा आएगा ही नहीं ना भाई क्यों आएगा 120 वाला बंदा
Can I get a drop?
टाइम तो इतना हो गया था कि अल्ट करना ही नहीं चाहिए
Let's flush them out. I'll find you. Reloading. Drop in a smoke. Reloading. Reloading. Placing sentinels. Fire in the hole! Mark one.
आओ बे
दरवाजा ही नहीं खोला था
वो पिलो है ना
Your duty is
बंदे पे मेरी
कवर दे
so what I mean.
रहना मेरे पीछे
Down.
One enemy remaining.
नाइस वन बॉय
नाइस बॉय
क्या लाइट बॉय पे
नाइस बॉय पाकिस्तान का डर लगे भाई
अच्छा
नाइस बॉय कुछ भी होता है ना बहुत अच्छी फेंकती है कुछ नाइस बॉय वो देखी तूने फोटोज अभी जो उनकी मिलिट्री ट्रेनिंग दे रही थी भाई देखो दिखाऊंगा भाई उनको गन चलाना सिखा रही है भाई उनकी मिलिट्री अबे हुआ क्या था अभी पीएसएल हो रहे थे उनके यहाँ पे अपने आईपीएल होते हैं तो वहाँ पे हारे पड़ी थी उनके प्लेयर्स और कोई न्यूजीलैंड वगैरह के सामने भी हार गई थी तो उनकी पाकिस्तान की आर्मी बोला था हम ट्रेन करेंगे अपने खिलाड़ी तो उनको गन चलवा रही है
मैच के बीच में कब जरूरत पड़ जाए
रोटेट
No peeking. Get out of
बढ़िया
here.
बढ़िया भाई तो खड़े हो गए
Medic. For you.
अबे वो भी खड़ा है एक लोग क्या दिक्कत है
भाई पहुंचो प्लांट हो रहा दौड़ जाओ बिना सोचे
पीछे
भाई
देख,
आप किधर ही
पीछे देख।
है
देखना भाग ना पाएगा अब मार दो अबे एक उनका AFK उनका
एक वेव के हां 74 है ना
Okay.
बच गया एक AFK ऐसे ब्रिम लो जिंदा
Satchel out.
तेज है एफ के
One enemy remaining.
हां तो ब्रिम जिंदा बोलते ना
है कहाँ
अब
FK लगी?
AFK हां AFK
Satchel out.
ये गाड़ा लेफ्ट में तक चले तुझसे वही नहीं थी भाई
पिस्तौल से लॉन्ग रेंज पड़ती नहीं है
Match
तो इतना
point.
बोल देता भाई कभी
We're so close. It's crazy.
भाई तू सर्वे रख के मारेगा ना पिस्तौल से नहीं जाता
ठीक है भाई मैं समझ गया यार ठीक है
उसकी एक रेंज होती है भाई
हाँ समझ गया ना तब लिखा के उसका वो हवा से नीचे चली जाती है
Keep it cool. That's how you survive. Where are you? Find you. Enemy spotted. Hey, no peeking. Reload. Reloading.
अब लेने दे अगर तू नहीं ले रहा तो
नहीं ले रहा
अबे तू ले ले तेरा एक बंदा आ जाएगा
Bomb buddy out. Reloading. Catch them.
ले ले मैं सामने देखा
Bring them down. Grenade.
Ah, Odin.
Spike down A.
Got the spike.
ओड़े
तेरी हालत खराब कर दी उन लोगों ने लेकिन
ओड़न चाहिए मुझे बाद में
अबे यार नीचे आ गए बे
One enemy
अरे
remaining.
राइट में पता नहीं अब नहीं पता
ऊपर
शायद यहाँ है
Where are you?
हाँ यही है
नीचे
भाई अंदर चले जाओ
चेक ले
ले इतना अंदर नहीं जाने बोलते कि पता ही नहीं चले
फेड तेरे पीछे से फेड
आ रहा है
हाँ रुक इधर
Last player
भाई
standing.
भाई छुपे रहो
Still waiting.
नाइस
बहुत बढ़िया बाबा
Attackers
देव
win.
आ गया
Okay, time for coffee. My treat.
बाबा ये बोल रहे रहे टॉप पे कोई भी जिताएंगे हमें
बस किल हम ही करेंगे भैया
बहुत तेज
चलो बंद करें खाना खाएं फिर जाएं मार्केट
क्या लेने जा रहे हो भाई गुलदस्ता
बे गुलदस्ता किसके लिए हाँ गोभी का गुलदस्ता लेके आएंगे
गो अरे सही है सही
बबीता के लिए
बाय बाय बाय
बाय बाय
बाय बाय बाय
सुने नहीं लगता
ले क्या
चले गए
अरे काट भाई ये
ए पगला
अबे नहीं वो रहता ना कैंसिल का आता था मेरे से मैं लीडर नहीं था
हाँ
वो बाबा ने बोला ये क्या हो गया
चलो रात को आते हैं अपन भी
जा रहे
बंद ही करते हैं स्ट्रीम भी